There is something inside your head that talks to you every single day. It knows your deepest insecurities. It remembers every single failure you have ever had. It knows exactly what to say to make you stop trying, to make you feel small, to make you shrink back into silence. And the most terrifying part? It sounds exactly like you. You probably assume that your inner voice is just you, that little narrator running in the background of your life, commenting on everything you do. But what if I told you that voice, the one whispering that you are not good enough, that you are falling behind, that everyone is secretly judging you? What if that voice is not actually yours? What if it is something that was planted inside you a very long time ago, and it has been growing in the dark ever since? Right now, there is a war happening inside your mind, and you do not even realize you are losing it. Let's go back to the beginning, back to where the voice first learned to speak. When you were a child, your brain was an open door. You had no filters, no walls, no ability to question what walked in. Every word spoken to you by a parent, a teacher, a classmate, walked straight into the deepest rooms of your mind and made itself at home. When someone told you that you were too loud, your brain recorded it. When someone said you were not as smart as your sibling, your brain wrote it down. When you were punished, not for what you did, but for who you were, your brain built an entire belief system around it. You did not choose these beliefs. You inherited them, like furniture in a house you did not build. And here is where it gets truly unsettling. That voice, the inner critic, the one that tells you that you are a fraud, that you are unlovable, that you will never be enough. It is not your voice. It is a ghost. It is the echo of every person who ever made you feel small, and it learned to speak in your voice so you would never question its authority. It disguised itself as you so perfectly that you have spent your entire life believing its words are your own truth. You are not being self-aware, you are being haunted. And the haunting does not stay in your thoughts. It physically changes your brain. Every time that voice repeats a negative thought, your brain strengthens the neural pathway that carries it. Think of it like a path through a forest. The first time you walk through, it is difficult. You push through branches, step over roots. But if you walk that same path every single day for 10, 20, 30 years, it becomes a highway. That negative voice has had decades to carve a 6-lane highway straight through your mind. Meanwhile, the kind voice, the one that says you're doing your best, that you deserve rest, that you are enough, that voice is still a faint trail buried under overgrown weeds because it was never given the chance to be walked. This is what neuroscience calls the negativity bias. Your brain is literally wired to hold on to negative experiences like a sponge, while positive ones slide off like water on glass. One cruel word from a stranger can echo in your mind for years, while 100 compliments barely last a week. The dark voice does not fight fair. It never has. And it gets worse. Every time that voice fires, your brain floods with cortisol, the stress hormone. Your body does not know the difference between a real threat and a thought. So when the voice tells you that everyone in the room is judging you, your nervous system reacts as if you are in genuine physical danger. Your heart races, your muscles tighten, your vision narrows. You are walking around in a body that is constantly preparing for a fight that does not exist because the enemy is not outside. The enemy has your face. The enemy has your voice, and it is whispering from inside the walls. But perhaps the most terrifying thing is not the voice itself. It is what you have built around it. Without realizing it, you have constructed an entire invisible prison to keep yourself safe from the pain the voice predicts. You avoid applying for the job because the voice says you will be rejected. You do not tell that person how you feel because the voice says you will be humiliated. You quit before you start because the voice has already written the ending, and it is always a tragedy. You build walls that feel like protection, but they are actually a cage, and the architect was never you. It was the ghost.
You start to live a smaller and smaller life. Not because you lack talent, but because the voice has convinced you that playing small is the only way to survive. You self-sabotage not out of laziness, but out of a desperate attempt to match the story the voice has already written for you. If the voice says you are a failure, then succeeding becomes terrifying because success would mean the voice was wrong. And if the voice is wrong, then who have you been listening to all this time? But here is where the story changes. You are not the voice. You are the one who hears it. The voice is old programming, a recording that has been playing on repeat for so long that you forgot it was a recording at all. But the fact that you can notice it, the fact that you can say, that is my inner critic talking, means you are something separate from it. You are the silence underneath the noise. And this is not just philosophy, this is neuroscience. The moment you observe a thought without believing it, you activate your prefrontal cortex and pull power away from the amygdala, the fear center that the dark voice has been hijacking for years. Observation is not passive, it is the most powerful act of rebellion your mind is capable of. So what do? You give the voice a name. Psychologists call it cognitive diffusion. Instead of thinking, I am worthless, you learn to say, there is the critic again, there is the ghost. The moment you name it, you are no longer inside it, you are standing beside it, and it loses its power. Then you test it. Would I say this to someone I love? If your best friend said they felt like a failure, would you tell them they are worthless? Of course not, you would be kind. So why do you let the voice speak to you in a way you would never speak to another human being? The cruelty is not honesty. It is just old pain wearing a mask of truth. And remember, the same brain that carved those dark pathways can carve new ones. Every time you catch the voice and gently correct it, you are cutting a new trail through that overgrown forest. It will feel faint at first, but walk it every day and it becomes the new highway. The old dark road does not disappear overnight, but it starts to grow over. And one day the ghost tries to walk its favorite path and it can barely find the way. You have been listening to a voice that was never yours, but now you know. And knowing is the first crack in the wall of the prison you did not know you were in. You do not have to silence the voice. You just have to stop believing it is you. If you found this quiet moment helpful, consider subscribing to The Gentle Mind for more insights like this. Take care of your inner voice today.